guys tips to score bags hard and fast, you know. I don't know why I'm using the word hard, but you know, we're just gonna roll with it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a very requested video. I get asked this so many times, but before I dive into the video, if you are new to this channel and you've clicked on this video because you want to know how to score a Birkin or a Kelly or even a Constance really fast, then please hit that subscribe button below. Of course, if you're not already subscribed and you are new. If you are already subscribed, then thank you very much, welcome back. But make sure to also ring the bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos, which is twice a week on a Wednesday and on a weekend. I must admit though, I'm usually late on my Wednesday video. Like, I'm just notoriously late. I am a mum, I have 2 kids. I currently have my newborn son sitting with me right here in his bouncer, chilling. Let's hope that he stays that way. Okay, without further ado, let's get straight into this video so it's not too long. So I have both my bags here because it's all about how to score a Birkin or a Kelly. I do have a Constance, but it's up in the cupboard. And these are my my bags, my Birkin and my Kelly. Before we dive right into the nitty and gritty, for anyone who is new, also if you are already a seasoned subscriber, I still have my coupon code with 7 Rue Paradis. So if you aren't familiar, 7 Rue Paradis, otherwise known as 7RP, is the company that makes the best inserts that I have ever experienced for my Hermes bags. I have tried many other inserts. I have tried linen from a company that's relatively known on the purse forum. I've tried felt inserts, and I have also tried satin they're like a soft kind of fabric satin insert. I have tried them. I've tried a couple actual felt inserts, a couple varieties. I have tried from the main one, but I can say that after having experienced inserts from other companies, I can definitely attest that the 7 Rue Paradis inserts are the best that you can get for your Hermes bags, purely because they fit snug, but they do not leave impressions on the leather. So what I will say is, and I've done a detailed review, is if you ever get impression marks on your leather where the inserts start pushing at your bags and pushing them out or causing any kind of push outs on the side, stretched leather is irreparable. Once a leather is stretched and has indentations from the wrong kind of inserts, you can't fix it, it's done, and you'll have bulges in your Kelly or your Birkin. So that's why I recommend the 7 Rue Paradis inserts, because they do not do that at all. No impression marks whatsoever. Again, I'll leave below my review video which talks in detail about these and also shows some pictures of the inserts that I used to use in my bags and what they actually did to my bags when I was using it. So this is an insert for the Kelly 25 Return. This is the insert for the Birkin 30. So yes, my coupon code's still valid. It's POF30 for €30 off 1 insert, and then it's POF70 for €70 off 2 inserts. They make their inserts specifically for each size of bag. So of course, this is Birkin 30, and then they have inserts for Birkin 25, Birkin 35, and so forth. And then this is the insert for the Kelly 25 Return, but they also have inserts for the Kelly Celia. So again, it goes up in the sizes as well. Highly recommend them. As you can see, they're nice and soft, but they still hold the shape of your bag. So I store these inside my bags, inside my closet, and I keep my bags upright. Let's talk all about the content of this video, which is how to score a Birkin or a Kelly fast. And pretty much this is about giving you surety to actually score. Now, I just want to give a disclaimer, is that I have only scored twice from my local boutique. I scored a Birkin 25 in Rose Azalee, which, long story short, if you watch a look, I think I've covered it in quite a few videos. I regret selling that bag. It was to do with my mental state at the time, unfortunately. I don't want to go into detail into this video. But yeah, I have scored twice, and it was that bag first, and then this was the second bag that I scored at the boutique. The Kelly that I've shown you, however, was purchased by myself in the resale market. But we are just focusing on scoring your Hermes Birkin or Kelly from the boutique. Now, I can speak from experience as to how you go about scoring a bag. I wouldn't say necessarily fast from experience, but I know how, if I wanted to score one fast, how it is actually done. And I know this based on the information that I have gathered from speaking to so many people that shop at my local boutique, so many people that shop at the other boutiques in Australia, so many people that shop at the boutiques in Asia. I have so many, I made so many friends actually essentially through social media. I also had previous networks already before, but I have really just grown that knowledge base based on talking to you guys and talking to a lot of people that shop Hermes. So the information that I have gathered is quite, I'd say objective, because it's gathered from many various sources all over, even in the US as well. I have friends in the US that have told me their experience. However, I can tell you that in the US it is slightly different because there are so many more boutiques in the US versus what the population is and density and that sort of stuff. Whereas in Asia, yes, there's a lot of boutiques, but it's quite a dense population. People are closer to the boutiques, so the boutiques tend to get the same kind of traffic, whereas in the US, you'll have boutiques that are much further out, say like Dallas or something, that don't get as much traffic, sort of thing, because of where their proximity is and the kind of cultural area that surrounds them. But those are variables that, you know, we don't want to complicate this too much. Let's just talk the nitty and gritty, hard and fast facts when it comes to scoring your Birkin and Kelly fast. And we're going to start off with pretty much the no-brainer tip, and that is, when you do find a sales associate, you need to get a sense for as to whether they want you as a client. So this is the first tip. Get a feel for how are they interacting with you. When you're first meeting a sales associate, say this is your first time into Hermes, does it seem like they want your business? Are they being friendly with you? Is there some kind of click going on there? You know, or do they feel like they're kind of pushing you away and they're not really wanting to give you business? Because if you're getting the feeling that they're not perhaps wanting to get business from you and they're kind of pushing you away a bit and a bit reluctant to help, then that's probably a pretty telltale giveaway sign that they either don't want you as a client, they're a ding dong and they're missing out on getting a fabulous client. But you know, it's kind of that kind of vibe where it's like, you know what, you don't want to deal with someone who doesn't want your business. So I say the first tip is to find a sales associate that wants to work with you. And I know in the first meeting it can be a bit hard, but it is quite obvious when someone doesn't want to work with you. I think that we can all attest that we have stepped into a luxury boutique where someone has like said, can I help you? And they've been a bit like, you know, roll their eyes at you, not really that willing to help. We can notice when that's a fact, okay? If the sales associate is, you know, welcoming, they're happy to help you, then that's a good sign. That's off to a good start, okay? So that's a good thing. So that's the first point. The second point is, once you found the sales associate that you want to deal with, make sure you only exclusively deal with them. Only them. Don't go into the boutique and then you see, you know, say your sales associate is Jane, but you see Jack over there and Jane's not in today. Don't go and deal with Jack. You can go and have a chat to Jack, talk about some things, but don't buy anything from Jack. Only buy from Jane, okay? So that's a very key important thing here. So point number 2, only deal with the same associate every single time when it comes to Hermes. All right, number 3 is avoid buying from the online Hermes boutique. Only exception I'm going to say is Rodeo, okay? Only exception is Rodeo and the very hard to get bag charms, because the reason I say that is because they're very hard to get and they can be quite hard for your sales associate to get them for you. But the other thing is that those Rodeo bag charms don't really count towards any commission for the sales associate. You can actually give your sales associate the Hermes product code and say, are you able to get these for me? And specify exactly, you know, you want this product code, you want this size of their shoes. The Twilly, you give them the product code and say what the Twilly name is. Ask them to get it for you. That way you're actually giving them the commission rather than the online boutique, because the online boutique, it doesn't really mean anything, okay? It doesn't. What you spend on the online boutique doesn't mean anything because it means nothing to your sales associate. In an overall scheme, when it comes to a sales manager review, when, you know, let's say hypothetically you get put for a review of getting a bag, they will look at your overall profile, and from what I understand, the online spend does get seen. But you have to get into the good books with your sales associate for that to even happen anyway. Now, point number 4, visit every month if you can, because that really helps to build the rapport with the sales associate. The more that they see your face and talk to you and you guys get a click happening, a bit of like common grounds on things, you never know, you might, you know, share some kind of common interest, you might share common lifestyle, whatever. The more you go and see them, the more you talk with them, the more you interact with them, gives you kudos. And it, you know, it builds that relationship, it builds that rapport. Really, it's a sales technique 101. My background is actually a bit of sales. I have a lot of things. If you watch my video, 10 things you maybe didn't know about me, that kind of goes into a bit of what my actual background is and why I can actually speak from experience also on the sales aspect of things. So if you can't actually visit every month, because I know that some of us, some of us have Hermes sales associates that we actually only deal with when we travel, okay? That still works too, but that's a whole different situation as well. But if you can't visit every month, even me, I can't visit every month, no way. Like, it takes me about an hour, just over an hour to get into the city where the boutique is. I have 2 kids. It's not possible, you know? My family takes priority over me going and doing luxury shopping. But if you can't, do phone calls. Or for me, what I do is I say, these are the items that I'm looking for. I'm thinking of coming into the boutique in, say, August. Around about mid-August, can you see what's available? Is there anything that you can, if it's available, if you can hold it for me, because I'll definitely get it. That kind of thing. Like, send your wish list a little bit in advance, like a couple weeks or so in advance, so that way you're trying to sort of touch base, and then that way you can sort of spread it out a bit. So point number 5 kind of ties into what I was just saying in point number 4, is that you need to keep in touch with your sales associate to actually keep your wish list updated. So this includes not like just Birkin and Kelly, because that's kind of a given. It doesn't hurt to actually drop that in as well, keeping that kind of side of the aspect of the wish list updated. But I'm talking about keeping it updated as for like other items that you're wanting to get. Say, if you want to be really proactive, I would actually recommend watching the Hermes runway show. So when you see that there's an item on the Hermes runway show that you want, it's probably still got another like 5 months to 6 months until it drops into the boutique. But then you can actually pre-order it in advance. You shouldn't have to pay for it in advance, but you're actually saying, look, I want this item when it comes into the boutique. Can you reserve it for me? So you're keeping your sales associate updated with your wish list, items that you're wanting to get either quite soon, within the next couple of weeks you want to drop in, or items that you know are that a little bit harder to get and they might have to transfer between boutiques, or they might have to wait for stock to come in. So try to keep ahead of the seasonal releases. It is advantageous, and that way you can also get first dibs as well on the things that you want. Point number 6 is show genuine interest in the house. And I'm not talking about just saying you have a genuine interest in getting a Birkin Kelly Constance. I mean genuine interest in the other things that the house offers. So whether that be that you say, oh, I absolutely love the Oran sandals. Have a conversation with your sales associate. Talk about the things that you love from the house. Maybe you haven't got them yet, but you want to get them in the future. You could talk like that. You know, oh, I love the Hermes cashmere. You know, I definitely want to get a shawl soon when winter starts, or when it starts getting cold, those kind of things. So talk about the things you love that the house has, that isn't just about the Birkin Kelly Constance, isn't just about the handbags. It's the other stuff too that you really appreciate and you admire and like, and you potentially will be adding it to your wish list, okay? So it's kind of like a bit of brainstorming, you know, that sort of thing, but with your sales associate as well. So this helps to build rapport too. If you really want to express that you're quite knowledgeable with the house, try to read up a bit on their heritage leathers and all that sort of thing. Look, but it really just depends on the sales associate that you're working with. So I had a sales associate before who, her mother loved Hermes, loves Hermes, collects it, this sales associate pretty much was born into seeing Hermes because of her mother. So I could actually talk with her about the history of Hermes, the leathers, the heritage, the making of the saddles. I could talk about so many fine details, like box leather and how it behaves. Kind of get a feel for what the sales associates sort of like, if they're the ones that have really come to work there because they've got a rich history with Hermes, perhaps from family, or they've got a rich history because they've loved the brand and that's why they came to work with them. And if you kind of get a feel for that, you should definitely grow on that and talk to them more about their knowledge of the house as well, beyond what they've just received in training. That is quite helpful, and it helps to build that kind of rapport again. But if it's sort of a sales associate that's just come on board, has been trained by Hermes, and they're, you know, a sales associate in a nutshell without having that kind of rich history already, you can still talk with them about history, but just perhaps don't go into too much detail, because you might overwhelm them, and they might feel like uncomfortable because perhaps you know more than them. Number 7 is, this is quite important actually when it comes to scoring a bag hard and fast. You need to be open with your choice of the elusive bag that you are after, okay? So, and I touched on this in my video about 101 Hermes colors, so I definitely recommend watching that, because that has some tips in itself to understanding the Hermes system when it comes to colors. What I mean by this is being open to your choice of elusive bag. It is helpful if you can actually accept a variety of sizes and also bag. So let's say, okay, you are happy to take a Birkin 25, a Birkin 30, you'd be happy with a Kelly 25, a Kelly 28. You know, if you're saying to your sales associate, you know, you love these bags, you'll be happy with any of them because this is essentially your dream bag, then that's good. That's a great thing because that's leaving your options open to your sales associate, so it makes it that bit easier for them to be able to get you a bag, because you're not being like, I want a Kelly 25 Acelia gold Epsom with gold hardware, where we all know every Tom, Dick and Harry is asking for that bag, okay? So when you're keeping your options open, that's really helpful to scoring a bag hard and fast. What is also even more advantageous is also actually being open with your colors. But being open with your colors isn't as simple as going, yeah, I'm happy with the neutrals, I'm happy with the blue, happy with green, happy with yellow, or even saying, even worse is saying, I'm happy with anything, any color. That's kind of worse, because when you're saying you're happy with anything, you're not really giving your sales associate any kind of like narrowing down. So they will be potentially paranoid about offering you the wrong bag and then you knocking it back, because they want to offer you something that they know that you are going to keep, something that's going to stay in your collection, or something that you're going to love and appreciate it. They also want that moment to be special as well, and they don't want to see like a disappointment on your face when you're like, this is not what I want. So it is good to be open, but try to narrow it down a bit. So this goes more into detail with my Hermes colors video. In a nutshell, it's really being open with your bags and trying to be open with your colors, but still slightly specific in some sense, where you're not too wide open where they're just confused and don't know which one you would be happy with. Tip number 8 is, okay, now this is the one where I think that people will go, well, why would you want to shop at a boutique that makes you do that? This is the controversial point, but it's an actual reality of it. Is biggest tip, be prepared to spend close to or 1-to-1 the cost of the bag, okay? And I'm not talking about buying another bag that is equal in amount. I'm talking about buying items from the house that are not leather goods, essentially, like not bags, okay? And why I say that this, why I actually bring this up is that people will go, oh, but I've spent 1-to-1 the cost of the bag. 1-to-1 meaning like the Birkin say $16,000, but you spend $16,000 as well on other items at the boutique. You say, oh, I've spent $16,000 though, but for example, in that list of $16,000, you've spent on a Pinkerton 18, you've bought some Rodeos, you bought some Bastia, some Calvi, but then you also bought some fashion jewelry, some scarves and that sort of thing, shoes. Okay, that's equal to your $16,000. Some of that counts, yes, but predominantly the Pinkerton wouldn't have counted towards that spend. The Bastia Calvi hardly would have counted, and pretty much definitely not the Rodeos, all right? So you might think you've reached it, but perhaps you haven't actually reached that 1-to-1 spend. Again, I want to talk in the fact that some of this doesn't necessarily apply when it comes to your first bag. Having spoken to so many people and even experiencing it myself, your first bag can actually be a lot easier. They want to make it special for you. Let's just talk from a broader perspective, because in some countries it really doesn't matter. They don't, like, your first bag is still the same as a regular customer to score, okay? So we're just going to talk about it from what I know, from a general point of scoring hard and fast. And we're not going to try and make this all too complicated when it comes to the variables of it, because I know I'm going to get comments where people go, oh, I didn't have to spend that much, I only spent $7,000, or only bought a garden party and a bracelet and a pair of shoes, and then I got offered a Kelly 25. I know that there are going to be situations like that, total situations like that. And then there's France, which is a whole different kettle of fish when you go to Paris and you score without buying anything. But I'm just trying to talk about more of the sense of people that want that kind of surety, or they shop at a boutique that's got a massive clientele, huge competition. These are the sort of tips that are really going to help you. I'm gonna do those happy faces to the camera. Only to mama you do those happy faces, don't you? On to point number 9. Some bags will require less pre-spending, okay? So, or they might not even require any at all. And I'm pretty much talking about if at the moment, the Birkin 35, Birkin 40, Kelly 35, maybe even Kelly 32 is not as desirable at the moment. So you may not even have to spend anything. You pretty much could potentially even ask If they have one available, probably you might find you might need to buy something. Particularly with the Kelly 32, it probably requires a little bit of pre-spending because it's not that big of a bag, because big bags aren't in at the moment. It's all about the smaller and mini bags sort of thing. So yeah, some bags require less pre-spending, but then there are also bags that require a lot of pre-spending, okay, and you'll have stiff competition to try to score them, particularly like with a mini Kelly. So let's give you a hypothetical scenario. All right, let's say that you have spent $15,000 Australian on other items, not leather goods or anything like that. You want a mini Kelly. There's another client that your sales associate have, and other sales associates will have, that are dropping $60,000 on jewelry and clothing, silks, you know, all that sort of thing. Who do you think they're going to offer the mini Kelly to? The person that spent $15,000 or the person that spent $60,000? So you have to kind of think about what bag you're wanting to score as well. Are you trying to score the very, very sought after, super duper elusive ones like the mini Kelly? The Kelly 25 even would require more than a one-to-one pre-spend. Maybe if you're not getting a very desirable color, say you just want a Kelly 25 in orange, probably not. You may be able to go less than the one-to-one spend. You might even need to only spend $7,000 or something like that because it's less desirable. But we're just we don't want to go too much in specifics. So let's just say you're after a Kelly 25 in black with gold hardware. You probably find that you'll need to spend more than one-to-one to score that bag because it's a hot item, it's a classic, you can't go wrong with it, and everyone's loving the Kelly 25 at the moment. So that's also another thing you kind of got to bear in mind, which bag you're kind of aiming for. And tip number 10, which is the very, very final point, and I think that this is actually a very, very big point to actually score the Birkin or Kelly hard and fast, and that is shop in the desirable categories. And why I say that they're desirable is because they give the highest commission to the sales associate, and those categories are ready to wear, homewares, so that would be like the Evelyne blanket, their mugs, like their tea mugs, coffee mugs, plates, that sort of thing, and also fine jewelry. And I mean specifically the fine jewelry, more so the gold, white gold, gold and rose gold, not so much the sterling silver. It is considered to be fine jewelry, yes, but the price point isn't really as high on the sterling silver fine jewelry. So I would say definitely just the gold from the fine jewelry. And if you are prepared to spend about 80% the cost of the bag that you are after on exclusively only those categories, so ready to wear, homeware and fine jewelry, then you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to score a bag pretty quickly, pretty hard and fast, okay? You're going to score one. I know that from experience talking to so many people that just shop ready to wear and fine jewelry, particularly, not so much the homewares, but they just shop ready to wear and fine jewelry. The only exception they'll make is for like scarves and stuff like that, which still kind of falls into similarly that ready to wear category, but the price point is not as high. But especially if you're buying shawls, if you're buying the cashmere shawls, I know people that buy in those categories and they score no problem. Like, I see them, it's raining bags on them while I'm over here going, when's it my turn? When am I going to get a bag? Because I don't really shop in those categories, okay? I'm not really big on them. I tend to only buy what I really, really love and what I, you know, what I want. I don't want to just buy just for the sake of scoring. That's my attitude. But if you are happy to just buy for the sake of scoring, or conveniently, if you happen to love their ready to wear, side note, there are some pieces I do like from their ready to wear, but say you happen to love their ready to wear and you're prepared to spend $15,000 on a leather jacket and you know, I don't know, something else as well that's worth a few thousand, that's in the desirable category, say a cashmere shawl or some homewares up to $3,000, then you're pretty much gonna score a bag. The sales associate's gonna love you. So that is everything. Before this little one gets too cranky, I'm gonna wrap up this video. Look, like I said, just take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because there are situations that will be different, but I think based on all the information I've collated, all the people that I've spoken to, what I am saying is going to be quite helpful, okay? But don't come for me, because there are going to be situations where it's not like that, and there are going to be boutiques that aren't going to make you do that. And first bag scores are usually can be quite different to second bag scores. I think that this really applies to more so regular customers, because regular customers, once you've kind of scored once, you are with everyone else that's still trying to continue on with their scoring of Hermes, Birkin and Kelly, that sort of thing. But yeah, hopefully this video was useful and you've taken some valuable information out of it. The main thing of making this video for you guys is really just to be helpful. That's what this channel has always been about. My content has always been about being informative and being honest, truthfully honest, not hiding anything. There are a lot of channels that will reveal Hermes unboxings. There will be people on Instagram that reveal the items, like the bag scores that they got from Hermes, and they won't tell you the fine details. They won't tell you how much they spent or anything like that. There is a lot of that. Not everyone, but there is quite a lot of dishonesty. So that is exactly what my channel is about, the latter of that, being honest. So don't take absolutely everything to a T, but in a general, the points that I have will be applicable in quite a lot of scenarios. Maybe not all 10 points, but there would be a, you know, I'd say at least 50% of the points that I've given you are definitely going to be applicable when it comes to shopping at your local boutique to try and score a Birkin or a Kelly quickly. Yeah, okay, so that's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and I will see you guys in my next one.